When practicing Mettā Bhavana, we need to suppress our anger. We need to extinguish our dosa. There are many ways to extinguish our anger. One method is to reflect on karma as our own properties. Another method is to reflect the attributes of the Bodhisattva who practice patience, forbearance, and loving kindness and forgiveness. Another way is exercising patience, khanti, through mindfulness that is practiced by Venerable Pona. Another method is to reflect on the elements dhatu after chemically analysis. Another way is to do give and take policy. If anger, which has arisen against an enemy, has subsided or been suppressed, feeling of loving kindness will also constantly occur in such a hostile person, just as the feeling of mettā occurs to the first person, the affectionate person, worthy of respect and love. Second person, a beloved person or a person on whom deep love is bestowed. And that person, a neutral person who is neither dear nor hateful. At the same time, while developing mettā repeatedly, this loving kindness will be transmitted to all four kinds of person. Your own self and the one whom you dearly love, and the neutral person and the hostile person, with your equally balanced mind, put on each and every one of them, wishing them happiness. By doing so, it would amount to avoiding discrimination between different kinds of person to whom goodwill is to be imparted equally, wishing them happiness. It is called Sima Sambheda. That means the line of demarcation or the boundary marked out between different individuals should be removed. The manner of removing the limit of differentiation between individuals is, let's say, a person who is developing mettā together with the person who deserves love. That is the person who is dear to him, and the neutral person and the enemy all four of them are living in the same place. Let's say while living together, a number of bad people came over and asked the person developing Mettā to hand over to them any one of the four so as to enable them to offer him as a sacrifice to propitiate a god in the performance of a rituals. When demanded in this way, if a wavering thought arises, imagine as to which of the four persons should be offered. It will not yet amount to achievement of the quality of Sima Samveda. It is simply because it would be tantamount to discrimination, or you deny the interest of the person who is chosen to be taken away to be killed. In reality, only if a feeling of loving kindness occurs, spreading out Mettā equally on all four persons, including yourself, wishing each and every one to be happy without wishing to hand over any one of the four, then it is said to have amounted to Sima Samveda. It means that no distinction has been made between yourself and others. There will be only one sphere of activities which is confined solely to bringing about happiness, and this means that there is no such distinguishing limit, that is Sima, which is in fact removed. So even if a feeling of Mettā occurs, wishing others to gain happiness with your mind evenly balanced after the achievement of Sima Samveda, yogis, while developing Mettā through meditation, see Nimitta, the first signs of mental illumination. You also realize the Upachara jhana. Then after your realization of Upachara jhana samadhi, if you continue practicing by developing several times, the objects of nimitta, apana will soon be achieved. It is according to Visuddhimagga. You can search in the Visuddhimagga. This apana is nothing but the three kinds of jhana. You already listen. After attainment of all these jhana, 528 kinds of mettā can be developed continuously in sequence through the mental faculty of mettā jhana. Now in this retreat, we practice mettā bhavana also to gain only wholesome deeds, mettā as mettā bhavana. but we practice together with Vipassana Bhavana. When we practice Mettā Bhavana, we also practice Vipassana Bhavana. Vipassana means observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses. When we contemplate on Mettā, contemplate on the vanishing sound wave in the course of our radiation, with a sincere and hearty feeling towards all beings for their welfare and happiness. So now we continue to preach Mettā Sutta, preaching will be delivered based fundamentally upon Mettā Sutta, which is quite familiar to a majority of Buddhists. This Mettā Sutta is of paramount importance for all Buddhists. It has become an indispensable Sutta Dhamma when reciting prayers and various kinds of parita, protection, which are usually uttered or chanted on the occasion of religious function to drive away the influence of evil spirits and impart loving kindness to all beings, thereby affording us also contemporary message of goodwill. If donation were accepted while reciting this Mettā Sutta, and by developing Mettā at the same time, immense advantages can be obtained by the benefactors, by the donors. So it is necessary for the monks to seriously study so as to grasp the meaning and significance of this Mettā Sutta. Practice should be made to be able to recite this sutta correctly and precisely with a smooth flow and without making any error in punctuation. Then while reciting this sutta, Mettā should also be developed. This manner of performance would bring benefits to reciter and the donors. So the first preliminary verses of Mettā Sutta are Yasa Nubhavato Yakha Nevada Sindi Bisanam Yami Chewa Nuyong Janto Ratendiwa Matandito Sukha Supati Sotoja Papangeji Napasati Ewa Madi Gunubetan Paritan Dambanamahi. That is introduction, preliminary verses. That means by the power of this Mettā Sutta, the Roka Devas do not show fearful vision, and meditators who makes effort regarding this sutta day and night by reciting and practicing, he sleeps comfortably, and when he is asleep, he does not have bad dreams. So it reminded to recite this protected sutta, which is endowed with these qualities and other as well. So in this Mettā Sutta, it is for protection and also instruction for meditation. These two stanzas are the preliminary verses of praise composed by the teacher of the ancient time, and they are handed down to us by tradition. These are expressed in verses to be uttered or recited in the form of a universal goodness with a rhythm simultaneously by those yogis who will do the recitation. The introduction to the sutta also contains words of praise, eulogizing its noble attributes. Moreover, this eulogy serves as an introduction to the sutta, indicating that by virtue of the attributes of the noble Mettā Sutta, the guardian deities of the trees will neither make a display of horrible senses nor strike terror into the hearts of the people. So how it happened is, at one time, our Lord Buddha was residing at Jetavana Monastery in the city of Savatthi. 500 monks took meditation instruction from the Buddha, that is on the method of practicing Kammatthana meditation. After taking the meditation instruction, they went out in search of a suitable monastery and a village where donors could be found. Then they reached a mountain where lakes were in abundance at the fringe of the Himalaya mountain. The place was hygienically clean and refreshingly cool and peaceful. So they stayed for one night at this place. Early the next morning, they visited a village in the neighborhood to seek for alms. This village was fairly large with 1,000 dwelling houses, and the villagers were very generous and hospitable. They offered meat to all 500 monks and also requested them to spend their 3 months wasa at their place. They also donated a small monastery to each and every one of the monks to enable them to live in peace and meditate singly. And they provided them with benches and footstools for sitting, water pots, etc. Very generous people. On the following day, they proceeded to another village. The inhabitants of the village similarly requested the monks to reside at their place for a period of wasa, 3 months, 3 months rainy season, after they had offered the meat. They agreed to stay as requested, and they said, if the place were free from dangers, it would be better, they said. Later, they carry on practicing meditation day and night continuously at the grove in that forested area situated in close proximity to the village. Owing to the influential effect of the powers of the monks who were endowed with morality, the guardians deities of the tree in the forested area, they are not reside in their abodes, from which they descended, taking along with them their young children, and had to be moving about here and there. The deities were therefore watching out from a good distance with embarrassment as to when these monks would be leaving the place. Now the deities have no place to stay because the powerful monks stay there. Later, it had occurred to these deities as these monks would be staying for a period of 3 months during the Vasa. We, with our children, cannot possibly remain outside our abodes for a long time. So it would appear advisable to create horror and dreadful sights to frighten these monks away. So they plan to create horror and dreadful sights to frighten the monks. Implementing their thoughts into action, the guardian devas created themselves in the guise of ogres during night time while the monks were meditating and stood in the presence of the monks, making themselves visible, causing weird sound and horrible noise. They, they, they make themselves visible. Having heard these eerie sound and seen horrible sights, the monks were all stricken with fear. Their hearts throbbed and their complexion turned pale. And their mind became restless with worry and fright. So they became miserable. At the moment, foul smells were emitted by the deities. This state of condition had caused the monks great embarrassment and suffering. And it was mentioned in the commentary as Tena Dogandena, etc. That means it may be said that they had suffered severely from headache. Despite this pain and suffering, these monks remained mute and with great patience, without letting one another know about what really happened. The monks were very patient. One day, on being asked by the eldest Mahatera, the most senior monk, each and every one of the monks, when the senior monk asked of their own respective personal experience they had gone through, and they reported their experience. And the eldest of the monks, Mahatera, expressed his opinion. If that is the case, this place may be considered as unsuitable for us to stay and continue practicing meditation. So let us proceed to the Lord Buddha and respectfully report him of this state of affairs, and then we will shift our place of residence to some other suitable spot for the rest of the period of vasa. Thereafter, they all came over to the Buddha, from whom they sought instruction to direct them to a suitable and proper place, which would be more suitable to practice meditation. On reflection being made as to which place would be most appropriate for these monks, Buddha reflected thoroughly, and Buddha had found no place within the whole region of that area suitable for the purpose of meditation other than place where they had resided. So Buddha ordered them, monks, return to the forest retreat from where you had come. The advice given by the Buddha was, you should learn this Mettā Sutta if you all wish to escape from the dangers brought about by the deities. This Mettā Sutta will serve as a deterrent to the danger caused by those deities. It will also help towards better realization of the Dharma in the practice of Kammatthana Bhavana. Furthermore, it has been stated that this Mettā Sutta should be also recited, and to discuss this Dhamma and to reject this Dhamma. After taking instruction from the Buddha, these monks returned to their former place in the forest. They stay on in that place practicing meditation and reciting Mettā Sutta according to the teaching of the Buddha. And these deities, having felt that now these noble ones are sympathetic and are really bent upon bestowing upon us a lot of advantages by developing loving kindness. So the deities were very pleased and happy that they even assisted the monks in every way possible to fulfill their needs. Under these favorable circumstances, all these monks, after developing metta and indulging in the practice of vipassana, based upon metta jhana, they were all attained. They were all attained to have they they were all attained hardship, reaching the stage of Arata Megaphala during the period of Vasa. As such as the commencement of the verse utilizing the virtue of the Sutta, it mentioned that in view of the powerful influence of the noble attributes of this Mettā, the guardian devas of the trees had refrained themselves from displaying horrible sights and objects of frighten the monks. And the third line in the first stanza contains the words Anuyong Janto. Anuyong Janto means practicing. So this expression alone in itself does not convey the sense to simply do the recitation of the Mettā Sutta. The intention probably is to refer to the practicing of Mettā Bhavana, that is, developing Mettā through practical meditation. It is because in the Mettā Sutta, where 11 advantages of Mettā Bhavana are enumerated, it has been explained that these are the advantages of Mettā Citta Vimukti. The expression Mettā Citta Vimukti could not possibly have mere requirement of recitation only. Only Apanajana is Mettā Citta Vimukti. It has been clearly explained in Anguttara commentary. So if advantages such as Sukha Supati, the meditator has benefits of sound sleep, etc., are desirable, Mettā should also be developed in addition to making recitation. Now that one or two stanzas of Mettā Sutta we already recited. Karaniya Mata Kusalena Yanta Santam Padam Bismeja Sako Ujuja Sujuja Suvajo Jasa Mudu Anati Mani. The meaning is that if meditators who fully knows the real advantages in your life, if desirous of achieving and realizing the blissful nirvana, you must surely indulge yourself in the practice of sila, morality, samadhi, concentration, and pinya, insight wisdom. Meditator must be capable of taking up this practice. What is indicated by this expression is that if you wish to be liberated from all misery and suffering, you should have the ability to practice sila, samadhi, and pinya, three training, without any regard for your own self or material body, to the extent of sacrificing your own life. So if you want to attain nirvana, if you want to be liberated, you should practice three kinds of training. Because you are skilled in your good, you are inspired by the ultimate peacefulness of nirvana, and you should surely practice three kinds of training. To practice this training, you should be able, you should be upright, you should be very upright, you should be obedient, gentle, and not conceited. Look at your paper, page number 2. Page number 2, number 3. Genuine advantages of Sila, Samadhi, Pinya should be fully grasped with keen proficiency. Having understood this, one should be capable of practicing meditation to gain such advantages. That is the meaning of Karaniya Mettā Kusalena. You must be skillful, you must be proficient in your practice. In your practice of Sila, Samadhi, and Pinya, and then to practice in this way, you must be capable, you must be upright, very upright, etc. So number 3, follow me. Genuine advantages of Sila, Samadhi, and Pinya. Genuine advantages of Sila, Samadhi, and Pinya should be fully grasped with keen proficiency. Should be fully grasped with keen proficiency. Having understood this, one should be capable of practicing meditation to gain such advantages. Read together. Genuine advantages of Samadhi and Pinya should be fully grasped with keen proficiency. Having understood this, one should be capable of practicing meditation to gain such advantages. Okay, we have to stop our discussion for today. We'll continue next time by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by practicing Mettā Bhavana and Vipassana Bhavana, by noting rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and by noting radiating mind and sound wave of the recitation. May all meditators be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.